In this video, I'm going to be sharing my Pink Floyd collection, as well as some of the solo albums by some of the members of Pink Floyd. Come on over and let's have a look. Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from My Turntable. Hope you're having a great morning this morning. It is a Saturday morning, as always, a coffee kind of morning. A rainy Saturday morning. I woke up to thunderstorms this morning. Teeming rain, but it seems to be the rain seems to have stopped. But I don't know if it's going to clear up or not. It still looks kind of cloudy out there. Haven't been outside yet. Still early in the morning. So in this video, as I said in my intro, I'm going to show you my Pink Floyd collection. I'm missing all but 2 studio albums, and I'm also going to show some solo albums by the band members, and some live stuff and everything else. I was inspired to do this one by this fantastic album I just picked up, Pink Floyd at Pompeii. I'll save that one to last. So, Pink Floyd, one of the greatest progressive rock bands, art rock bands, psychedelic rock, space rock, experimental rock bands out there. Formed way back in 1965. Hard to believe they've been around since 65. But this one here, the debut album came out in 1967. The only album to feature Syd Barrett on lead vocals and guitar. You got the great singles Arnold Lane and See Emily Play. This is, of course, a remastered version of this one. But it's a fantastic album, as well as A Saucer Full of Secrets, the second album by the band, 1968. The mental health of singer and guitarist Syd Barrett was in question. He was breaking down a lot during the recording. So they brought in this guy called David Gilmour, who, of course, that just skyrocketed the band to stardom, in my opinion. Syd Barrett left the band before the album was completed. You got Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun and Seesaw on this one. Great album. Speaking of Syd Barrett, I've got 3 albums by him. This is The Madcap Laughs. These are great albums, by the way. I've got to go back and listen to these ones. But he was pretty remarkable artist. 1968 release. You've got Syd Barrett, of course, on vocals and acoustic and electric guitar. David Gilmour plays bass on this one, 12-string acoustic guitar, some drums on the song Octopus. Jerry Shirley from Humble Pies on this one. Willie Wilson, Robert Wyatt, Hugh Hopper, and Mike Ratledge from Soft Machine are all on this one. Great album. As well as Barrett, the second and final album by Syd Barrett, pardon me, 1970 release, produced by David Gilmour and Richard Wright as well, who also played keyboards and guitar, respectively, and Jerry Shirley's on drums on this one as well. Again, a decent album. And then I've got a kind of a retrospective opus. This is 1968 release. It's a compilation of unreleased material and alternate takes and recordings from those previous 2 albums that I showed you. 1968 release. Decent stuff. And then I've got more. The third album by the band. The soundtrack as well. Released in 1969. It's about a young hitchhiker, Ibiza, heroin abuse, party going, drug taking. You got the Now Song and Cyrus Minor. A couple of great singles off the album. Good stuff. Umaguma, part studio, part live. Released 1969. Recorded at the Mothers Club in Birmingham and College of Commerce in Manchester. And then the second album of the second side of the album, features songs from each member of the band. Cool stuff. A lot of these are on the Harvest label. You've got Atomic Heart and Mother. I don't know what to say about this one. It didn't do well. There's the CD there. The fifth album by Pink Floyd, a 1970 release. You've got If, Summer 68, Fat Old Son. Even the band didn't like this album very much. I don't know if it's underrated or I've got to give it another listen. It's just one I don't go to too often, for sure. Then I've got Metal, the sixth album, 1971 release. You got One of These Days, Pillow of Winds, Fearless, San Torpez, Seamus. And then you got all of Side 2, Echoes, 23-minute. Sorry, that was Max barking at the other dog. An opus of Echoes for sure on that one. And then I've got the early years, 1965 to 1972. It's part of a bigger box set that includes early works of Pink Floyd released in 2016. This is a great retrospective, all kinds of stuff on this one. There's a great photo of the band, by the way. This has got DVDs and Blu-rays and CDs in it. You got Nothing Part 14, BBC radio session, Fat Old Son, One of These Days, Embryo, Echoes. And then on the Blu-ray, you've got Aspect Feature, all kinds of stuff on here. Atomic Heart Mother, DVDs, got 24 Hours. It's bootleg recordings, Review in London, Atomic Heart Mother again. Yeah, all kinds of stuff on this one. Cool stuff. You could spend hours just listening to this one. I'm missing Obscured by Clouds, the seventh album by Pink Floyd, June 2nd, 1972. So that's on my list. The epic Dark Side of the Moon. What can you say about this one that already hasn't been said? The eighth album, 1973, concept album about dealing with mental health problems of Syd Barrett. Also pressures of the band. Themes about conflict, greed, time, death, mental illness. One of the greatest albums of all time, for sure. 1973 release. And their eighth studio album. This is also a great album, Wish You Were Here. The ninth album by the band, 1975 release in September. Some of the lyrics are about alienation and criticism of the music industry, the business side of it as well. You got Shine On, You Crazy Diamond, about Syd Barrett, who left 7 years earlier. And he actually showed up in the recording studio, but no one knew who he was because he had changed so much. Roy Harper does some lead vocals on Have a Cigar, and Vanetta Fields on this one. He also does some backing vocals on Shine On You Crazy Diamond. But great album. Great album. I have two versions of this next one. This is Animals, one of my favorite albums by Pink Floyd. The 10th album, 1977 release. It's a concept album focusing on social-political conditions of mid-70s Britain. Mainly written by Roger Waters. The song Dogs was co-written by David Gilmour. And I also have the 2018 remix, which sounds remarkable. Remixed by James Guthrie. It does sound remarkable. I love what they've done to that one. Loosely based on George Orwell's Animal Farm. It's about three different classes in society compared to three different types of animals. You got the predatory dogs. You got the ruthless pigs. You got the mindless herd of sheep. These guys were just out there. I've got to get a vinyl version of this one. The Wall, the 11th album by the band, November 30th, 1979. It's a rock opera about someone called Pink, a jaded rock star. He creates kind of a psychological wall of isolation around himself. Another Brick in the Wall, Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Mother, Goodbye Blue Sky. Fantastic stuff. I also have a live version. This was a gift by one of my co-workers. Is There Anybody Out There? The Wall, live 1980 to 81. Released by Pink Floyd in 2000. It performed at Earl's Court in London. It's great stuff. It's really, really good. Really, really good stuff. I'm Missing the Final Cut, the 12th album by the band, March 1983 release. The last album to feature Roger Waters, who left the band in 85. Also the only Pink Floyd album without keyboardist and founding member Richard Wright. Momentary Lapse of Reason, the 13th album, 1987 release. Recorded on David Gilmour's houseboat Astoria. You got Signs of Life, Learning to Fly, On the Turning Away. It's a great track. I love On the Turning Away. The solo on that one is just amazing. One of my favorite albums, The Division Bell. This is without Roger Waters, and written by mostly David Gilmour and Richard Wright. It would also be his first lead, Richard Wright's first lead vocals on Pink Floyd albums since Dark Side of the Moon. Polly Sampson, David Gilmour's wife, co-wrote most of the lyrics. You got Things of Communication, and it was also the last recording with Richard Wright, who would pass away, unfortunately, in 2008 of cancer. What Do You Want From Me? Wearing the Inside Out. Keep Talking, featuring Stephen Hawking. High Hopes. Fantastic stuff. One album I don't go to, and I think I've only listened to it once, to tell you the truth. The last album, The Endless River. The 15th album. I think they should have ended with The Division Bell, in my opinion. 2014 release. Not quite fitting to be a final album by Pink Floyd, one of the greatest bands ever. It didn't really go out with a bang. It was leftover music from The Division Bell, and they put this album together. Yeah, I don't go there too often on this one, or hardly ever. This is Pink Floyd live at Knebworth, 1990. This is the 2019 release. You got some great tracks on here. Recorded at Knebworth House, Knebworth, Hertfordshire in UK. And you've got Shine On You Crazy Diamond Part 1 through 5. The Great Gig in the Sky, Wish You Were Here, Sorrow, Money, Comfortably Numb, Run Like Hell. David Gilmour, Nick Mason, Richard Wright are on here. Claire Torrey, who did the original singing on Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, is on here. Awesome live. This is a double live album. It's great stuff. This is a pretty decent album as well. This is Roger Waters' Us and Them. This is a 3 LP set. Live album released in 2020. I'm not sure where it was recorded, but yeah. Speak to Me, Breathe, One of These Days, The Great Gig in the Sky, Welcome to the Machine, Wish You Were Here, The Happiest Days of Our Lives, Another Brick in the Wall, Part 2 and 3, Dogs, Pigs, Money, Us and Them, Brain Damage, Eclipse, Deja Vu. It's a really good album. I really like it. I really like this one. This one is, I think as a completist, I just needed to get this one. It's different for sure. This is the Redux, Roger Waters' Dark Side of the Moon. He didn't intend Redux to replace Dark Side of the Moon, but it was more of a tribute to the album. and to readdress some of the political statements that are happening, kind of bring it more current. Nick Mason thought it was an absolute brilliant album. To me, it's too slow-paced. He's got a real gruffle voice when he does a lot of spoken word on this one, so a lot of the tracks are spoken word. I can see the concept of it. I can see the reason for it. I know he wanted to make it his own. I hope he doesn't do any more, because why ruin the brilliance of the original album? But as I said, as a completist, I just had to have this one. Had to have this one. This is David Gilmour's solo album, his debut album, 1978 release. It was an important album for David Gilmour. He wanted it because it allowed him to step out of the limelight of Pink Floyd and become his own artist. There's great tracks on here. No Way Out of Here, So Far Away, No Way, I Can't Breathe Anymore. You got David Gilmour's brother Mark on rhythm guitar, Ian McLaughlin from the Faces on keyboards. It's a really, really good album. Definitely a David Gilmour album. And maybe one of the best in 2024, other than a couple others that I'm not going to mention right at the moment. But this is Luck and Strange, the fifth solo album by David Gilmour. Polly Sampson, Gilmour's wife, wrote most of the lyrics. A lot of the lyrics address mortality and aging, because he's up there now. He's in his late 70s. You got one track, Luck and Strange, the title track, features recordings by Richard Wright during 2000 in a jam in Gilmour's barn. Unfortunately, Richard Wright again would pass away in 2008. But so David Gilmour wanted to pay homage to Richard Wright and include that in the album. It's a fantastic, fantastic album. It truly is. Truly is. And then, as I said in the intro, this amazing live concert in Pompeii, mixed by Steven Wilson, released in 2025, based on the original concert in 1972, and also the groundbreaking film by Adrian Mabin. Steven Wilson remixed the soundtrack. The stereo mixes on the new 2 LP set. There's also a CD version of this one. This one also includes 2 bonus tracks, Careful With That Axe, Eugene, and then it's an alternate take, and then Saucer Full of Secrets, which is an unedited version. This is fantastic. Sounds remarkable. It's really, really good. I don't know what else to say about this one. It's just amazing. So happy to have it in my collection. You got Pompeii intro, Echoes Part 1, Careful With That Axe, Eugene, Saucer Full of Secrets, Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun, One of These Days, Mademoiselle Knobs, Echoes Part 2, and then on side D, you got Careful With That Axe, Eugene, Alternate Take, and Saucer Full of Secrets, unedited. Amazing. There's my Pink Floyd collection, as well as some solo albums by some of the band members. Hope you enjoyed. Have yourself a great rest of the day. Love you all. We'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.